Hey guys, this is Test 63 Game 1. This is the Judicial Appointments game. It's a splitting game. We know this because we are dividing the 7 variables H, J, K, L, M, O, P into one of 2 courts, either appellate or trial. Now I've laid out some things here, but don't worry, I'm going to explain all of that. They tell us we have 3 open positions on appellate, 6 open positions on trial, but because there are only 7 variables, 2 of these spaces will be empty. We just don't know which ones. Just because a position is open does not necessarily mean that it's going to be filled. They tell us that L is on appellate, so I put L in the appellate column. They tell us that K is on trial, so I put K in the trial column. And they tell us that H and P cannot be in the same court, so they're going to be split, one of them on appellate, the other one of them on trial. And then we have the remaining variables J, M, O, which will go in some remaining slots, whatever's left. So we don't know, maybe all of J and M are on trial, maybe one of them's on appellate, and the other 2 are on trial. We really can't say, or maybe it's ambiguous. Anyway, question number 1 is a typical orientation question. We just want to take one rule at a time and apply that rule to all 5 choices, looking for violations. Now they tell us that L has to be on appellate, so any choice where L is on trial can automatically be eliminated. And we see that choice A has L on trial, so therefore A can be eliminated as a result. We also know that K has to be on trial, so any place where K is on appellate can automatically be eliminated as a result, and therefore choice C is gone. We also know that H and P can never be together on either side, so for that reason, both B and D can automatically be eliminated, leaving E by process of elimination for number 1. Next, for number 2, general cannot be true question. You could find the 4 things that could be true and eliminate them, and whatever remains will be your answer, or you could simply run through the choices asking yourself what can't happen given our diagram here. So H and M both on appellate. H could be on appellate, and we do still have room for M as well. That could certainly be true, therefore A is gone. Next, B, M and O both on appellate. There is no room for that here because we already have 2 out of 3 slots filled, so only one of O or M could fit on appellate. The other one of those 2 would have to go to trial, so for that reason, B is impossible, and therefore it is our answer to number 2. I will go through the rest though. C says both O and P on appellate. We already have room for P to be on appellate, and then we could fit an additional thing as well. That thing could be O, therefore C is possible, and we can eliminate it. Looking at D, H and J both on trial. We could easily have H on trial, and then have plenty of room for J there also. We still have, remember, 4 empty spaces here that could all be filled potentially. So for that reason, well, not all of them could be filled, but at least 3 of them, J, M, O, could all be there. So for that reason, D is gone. And then E, O and P both on trial. Of course, there is room for that as well. P could be on trial, H could be on appellate, and we could easily fit O on trial as well. So E is gone, leaving B for number 2 if you didn't get it before. Next, number 3, general cannot be true question. Find the 4 things that could be true, eliminate them, and whatever remains will be your answer once again. Could J and M both be on appellate? Definitely no room for that here. We could fit one of the 2, J or M. O, of course, could go to trial, but then the other one of J or M would also have to go to trial. There just is not enough space here. So for that reason, A is impossible and is our answer for number 3. I will look at the rest though. J and M both on trial, of course, plenty of room for that here. So for that reason, B is gone. M and O both on trial, again, plenty of room. C is gone. D, M, and P both on appellate. We could have P on appellate and then H would go to trial, then there's still room for M on appellate, so for that reason, D is possible and we can eliminate it. Then looking at E, M and P both on trial. Of course, P could be on trial, there's room for M there as well. H could go to appellate, so for that reason, E is gone, and A is our answer to number 3. Next, number 4, if O was on appellate. So if O is on appellate, that means that both J and M will have to go to trial, and everything else is pretty much determined except for whether H is appellate, P is trial, and vice versa. So what must be true? Like I said, H could go either way. It's ambiguous, therefore A is gone. J on appellate. Of course, J had to go on trial, so B is gone. Looking at C, J on trial, like I just said, we definitely have J on trial, therefore C is our answer for 4. I will look at D and E though. P on appellate, P on trial for E. P could go either way, could go to appellate, go to trial. We don't know which one. It's ambiguous, therefore D and E are gone, leaving C for number 4. Finally, number 5, this is a rule substitution question. They're asking us which one of the following would have an equivalent impact on the game as did the rule that H and P cannot be on the same court, cannot be on the same side. So we're looking for something that is no more limiting than the original rule and also no less limiting than the original rule. It has to have precisely an equivalent impact. So looking at choice A, H and P can't both be on appellate. That's not as limiting because it would still allow H and P to both be on the trial court. So it's not an equivalent impact, it's not limiting enough, therefore A is eliminated. Looking at B, if H is on trial, then P must go there. That would simply require at least one of H or P to be on T, but it would still allow for the possibility that both of them would be on trial. So for that reason, it is again not limiting enough, so B is gone. Looking at C, if P was with J, then H could not be with it. This is simply telling us that we couldn't have both H and P with J, but it would still allow us to have them together in the absence of J, with J going on the other side. So for that reason, C is, again, not limiting enough. Looking at D, it's telling us if H and L were in the same court, which of course, since L's on appellate, that would force H to be on appellate as well, and then would force P to be on trial as well. But they're saying if H and L were in the same place, then P and K would be in the same place. But remember, this is all a big if. They're saying if we have H and L in appellate, then we have K and P in trial. So it might seem to be equivalent if you draw it, but remember, it's all a big if. So what happens if this was not activated? What would happen if P and K were simply on trial? Could we have H on trial as well? Yes. Nothing would be stopping that. So once again, D is not limiting enough, leaving E by process of elimination. Now, I will take a closer look at E, though. So they're saying no three of H, K, L, and P could be on the same column as each other on the same side. So, of course, we already know that L's on appellate, K's on trial. This is simply telling us that we cannot have both of H and P on either side, because if we did, that would be what led us to have three things on one side or the other side, and E is not making any kind of specification regarding appellate or trial as both A and B were, for example. And then, D was indirectly as well. So E is precisely as limiting as the original rule, no more limiting, no less limiting. So E is an equivalent impact to the original rule and is our answer to number 5.